Welcome back to CasiornThinks. So, for the last few episodes, we've pretty much treated AI like it's some kind of magical oracle that lives up in the cloud, on OpenAI's servers. But what if I told you that you could just kidnap the oracle and keep it on your laptop? Well, today, that's what we're talking about. We're diving into Ollama, the tool that lets you run powerful AI models right on your machine, locally, offline, and totally private. No subscription fees, no one spying on your data. But we're also going to zoom out and look at the massive open-source war that's brewing. From Chinese labs dropping incredible new models to Europe building its own AI, the question isn't just what the AI knows anymore, it's who controls the oracle itself. So let's unplug the internet and get into it.
So here's the fundamental split. On one side, you've got AI in the cloud. Yeah, it's powerful, but you're basically just renting it. You're paying subscription fees, you're sending your data off to who knows where, and you're totally chained to an internet connection. But on the other side, a real revolution is happening. What if you could have AI that's 100% yours? It lives on your machine, it's free to run, it's completely private, and it works anywhere, even on an airplane. And look, this isn't science fiction anymore. This is happening right now.
Okay, so let's really get into this whole kidnapping the oracle idea. For years, we've all treated AI like this mysterious black box in the cloud. We type a question, it goes off to a server owned by some giant corporation, and an answer magically comes back. The thing is, we don't own it, we don't control it, and honestly, we have no idea what's happening with our data. The whole point of this movement is to smash that black box to pieces.
So how do we actually break out of this box? Well, the tool that's handing us the hammer is called Llama. And if you've ever thought, oh man, running my own AI sounds way too complicated for me, Ollama is basically designed to prove you wrong. Its whole purpose is to take all that insane complexity and just make it disappear.
So what is it, really? Well, at its core, Ollama is a totally free, open-source platform that lets you download and run these incredibly powerful large language models, the brains behind stuff like ChatGPT, right on your own computer. Mac, Windows, Linux, it doesn't matter. The whole goal is to yank AI out of these heavily guarded fortresses that big tech has built and put it directly into your hands. It's really all about democratizing this amazing technology. And here's what's really cool. It's picked up this nickname, Docker for AI. And that is absolutely not an accident. Ollama's creator, a guy named Jeffrey Morgan, actually used to work on a project at Docker. He literally took that exact same philosophy, making complicated software easy for anyone to use, and just applied it to the world of AI. So just like Docker lets a developer run any app on any computer, Ollama lets anyone run a powerful AI on their personal machine.
I mean, just look how simple this is. You pop open a terminal, you type one little command like Ollama run Llama 3, and that's it. Seriously, Ollama handles everything else. It finds the model, it downloads it, it gets it running, and boom, you can start chatting with it instantly. And the best part? When you close it, Ollama automatically kicks the model out of your computer's memory so it's not hogging resources. It just does all the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this is cool, but why bother? Well, there are three huge, game-changing reasons. First, total privacy. Let's say you're a lawyer reviewing confidential case files. You just can't risk uploading that to the cloud. With this, it never leaves your laptop. Second, zero cost. You know how cloud services charge you for every single word? As a developer, those bills can get terrifying. Local models, totally free to run, as much as you want. And third, offline power. You can be on a flight with no Wi-Fi and still have a super smart AI assistant helping you write code. It's a game changer.
All right, so Ollama is the engine, right? But what about the fuel that makes it run? That, my friends, is where things get really, really interesting. See, Ollama runs these open models. And that one little word, open, has somehow become one of the most controversial words in all of tech. It is right at the heart of a massive philosophical and economic war.
So before we get into the drama, let's just get our facts straight. Let's look at the official definition from the Open Source Initiative, or the OSI. They say an open source AI is a system where everything, the code, the model's inner workings, and, crucially, the training data, is all freely available for anyone to see, use, and change. The whole idea is total transparency.
And that brings us right to the giant multi-billion-dollar elephant in the room, Meta's Llama models. They are, without a doubt, the most famous quote-unquote open models out there, and they fueled this whole local AI revolution. But if we go by that strict OSI definition we just talked about, are they actually open source? Well, the answer is, it's complicated. And in fact, a lot of critics have a pretty sharp term for what Meta is doing. They call it open washing. See, while Meta gives you the model's weights, its core brainpower, they slap a bunch of restrictions on how you can use it. For example, you're not allowed to use Llama to train another big AI model. Oh, and they also don't share the gigantic dataset they use to create it. It's kind of like a car company giving you a free engine but not the blueprints, and then telling you you're not allowed to use it to build a better engine. It's openish.
So this whole thing basically splits the AI world into two different philosophies. On one side, you have what we can call the vaults. These are the closed, secret systems like OpenAI's GPT-4. You can pay to use them, but the blueprints are locked away forever. And on the other side, you have the blueprints. These are the open-weight models like Llama, or these new amazing ones from China like DeepSeek and Quen. Here, the core design is public. Anyone can download it, tinker with it, and build on top of it. And this isn't just a technical detail, it is a massive strategic choice.
And that strategic choice, it's not just playing out in Silicon Valley boardrooms. This has exploded onto the global stage. We're not talking about a simple rivalry between a few tech companies anymore. This has escalated into a new kind of world war, a global race for technological independence.
Because while the American tech giants were busy building their closed-off vaults, something really surprising started happening. A huge wave of innovation in open-weight models started exploding out of other places, especially from labs in China. And in a twist that I think has shocked a lot of people in Silicon Valley, many American startups are now actually building their new products on top of these incredibly powerful and free Chinese models like DeepSeek. Why? Because they're getting just as good as GPT-4, but they're free, and you have way more control over them.
And listen, this isn't just about startups trying to save a buck. We're talking about entire nations getting into the game. Europe, especially, has woken up and realized that being completely dependent on American big tech for their digital future is a pretty big risk. So now they're in this frantic race to build what's being called sovereign AI. The idea is to create their own AI systems so they can ensure their own citizens' data never has to leave their borders.
And this isn't just talk either. Real projects are popping up all over the continent. You've got Germany building Sufi, which is a foundation for their own sovereign models. Switzerland has launched a multilingual model called Apertus. Poland is building one specifically for the Polish language. Spain's creating another. Every single one of these is basically a declaration of digital independence.
Okay, wow. So we've covered the tech, the corporate philosophy, the geopolitics, but let's bring this all back home. What does any of this actually mean for you? Well, it all boils down to a really fundamental choice, a choice between convenience and control.
All right, but let's be totally real for a second here. For all its amazing benefits, local AI is not some magic bullet that solves every problem. There's something that experts are starting to call the reality gap. And it makes sense, right? Trying to run a brain the size of a planet on your laptop instead of on a massive server farm with thousands of GPUs, well, there are going to be some trade-offs.
And here's that trade-off in a nutshell. The cloud gives you pure, effortless convenience. It's always super fast, it's always the smartest version, and there's zero setup. Local AI, on the other hand, gives you total control, but its speed totally depends on how good your computer is. Sometimes the answers can be a little meh. Developers call it the meh factor. And yeah, there's a bit of a developer tax, meaning you might spend some time tinkering with settings. It really is a choice between the easy path and the sovereign path.
But here's the most important point I want to make today. The goal of this whole open-source local-first movement isn't to completely kill the cloud. Not at all. It's about giving all of us a real, meaningful choice for the very first time. For the stuff that needs the absolute best of the best performance, yeah, the cloud is probably still your answer. But for literally anything else that involves sensitive data or needs customization or just privacy, we finally have a powerful alternative.
So when you boil it all down, what tools like Ollama and this whole open source movement are really doing is stripping away all the magic and mystery from AI. It's revealing it for what it is. A tool. We are finally moving away from a world where AI is this mysterious oracle controlled by just a handful of companies, and we're moving into a world where you, your business, and even your entire country can own the engine itself. And that leaves us with the biggest question of all. Is the future of this world-changing technology going to stay locked up in the hands of a few giant corporations, or is it going to be put into the hands of everyone? That choice is literally being made right now as we speak. So what do you think? Let us know down in the comments.
Hey, if you enjoyed diving into all this with us and you want to keep up with this crazy, fast-moving world of AI, make sure you subscribe to CasiornThinks on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. And check out our blog for even more. All the links are right there in the description. Thanks so much for hanging out. Join us next time for episode 10, where we're going to be looking at a wild project called ChatDev, and we'll be asking if it's the very first prototype of a post-human corporation. You are not going to want to miss that one.